for watching the first ever Nairobi governor debate right here on Citizen TV. It was a joint media production across all media houses, 100 members strong, making sure that you know the choices you're making. This is just part of the presidential debate that begins today. The deputy presidential debate is coming on the 19th. Special thanks to the team that made this possible. More than 100 journalists across media houses and broadcasting live on all the media stations. And this is where you get to decide what your choices will be. And we'd like to find out from you what your thoughts are at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Monday Report. We'll run you through what has been going on through the day. But also joining me now is Professor Peter Wanyande. Peter Wanyande is a lecturer at the University of Nairobi and also a professor of political science and a political commentator. Prof, before we get into the top stories of the day, what is your immediate reaction to the debate that came through just a few moments ago? Did you hear any matters substantive to Nairobi County?
Yes, I did. Both candidates did mention some of the things that they think are of concern to the residents of Nairobi. There's no doubt about that. The question or the issue, however, is whether or not they discussed these issues in a manner that is convincing. That I think they did not quite do. But I was also a little concerned about the fact that the senator of Nairobi, one came late for this debate. I think that was really unfortunate, and and especially given the fact that after he arrived, he did not even apologize to the people of Nairobi for coming late. And I think that is perpetuating a culture that we, as Kenyans and as people of Nairobi in particular, must say no to.
Yeah. And Prof, in terms of governance, there are two issues that came out. One, Igathe spoke about performance contracting, and Johnson Sakaja spoke about having 5 different boroughs to govern Nairobi efficiently. Which one do you think makes more sense from a governance perspective?
The issue of boroughs is actually provided for in the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and in particular the County Governments Act. The County Government Act says that counties can decentralize their functions further, that is beyond or below the county headquarters. And this is something that has not been done in many counties. And one just wonders why many counties, including Nairobi, has not done that. They should have done this long time ago. So that is really, is basically saying that they will now, as managers of Nairobi, try and implement that particular provision in the County Governments Act. The question, however, is why has that not been done? And you should be able to answer that question, Trevor, because he was part and has been part of the Nairobi County government. We must remember that a county government consists of the executive, headed by the governor, and the county assembly, and that the Senate, of which Sakaja is a member, is supposed to ensure that county governments actually operate as required. And therefore one wonders why he has not raised these issues about further decentralization of Nairobi. The question of performance contract, and that was talked about by Igathe, is important. It's important, especially when he related it to the question of ensuring that the workers of Nairobi City County are motivated. The question of motivation of employees is extremely important, and yet governments, both national and county, tend to downplay it. You see, if you do not have a motivated staff, it doesn't matter whether you decentralize or not, they will not perform. So I was happy that at least Igathe mentioned the fact that when he becomes governor, he would then want to ensure that employees of the city of Nairobi, the county of Nairobi, are motivated. That is very critical, actually, for any performance of any institution.
Yeah.
So I think that they're both important things.
Okay. Prof, as a political analyst, does winning these debates necessarily translate to winning votes? Because there were a total of 6 candidates who showed up.
Two things. I think one is that by now, a lot of residents of Nairobi have made up their minds of who they would vote. So that is not really in doubt. The question that you are asking really relates to those who are generally described as undecided voters. I think the debate can have an impact on the undecided voters. And in saying so, then one must ask ourselves, what would these undecided voters be looking for? And if the candidates or any of the candidates speaks to something that these undecided candidates were really looking forward to, or expecting the incoming governor to do, then that would sway them. Yeah. So yes, we cannot say it will not or it will. It depends on the extent to which the candidates convinced a particular undecided voter in terms of what that undecided voter was looking for.
Prof, in your view, who won this debate? There was Waringa, there's Grewal, there's Mwadime, there's Nyamwamu, there's Sakaja, and there's Igathe. Who won the debate?
First of all, I think that the first group of debaters, if we may call them so, were not very impressive. I think many of them looked like they were not prepared and are not prepared about how they're going to govern Nairobi. That was, to me, a very big disappointment in terms of the first group of the debaters. Between Igathe and Sakaja, had a bit of a problem in the sense that somewhere along the line, the debate kind of degenerated into personal attacks, if I may call it so. And that did not go very well for me, because really a debate is an opportunity to discuss issues, to identify issues relevant to the subject that is being interrogated, namely governing of Nairobi city county in this case. So that to me was a little bit unfortunate in terms of this debate. But I must also say, before I finally tell you whom I think perhaps had an upper hand, is that Igathe appears to want to deal with these issues from the issues affecting Nairobi from a very technical and professional manner. And this was very clear from the manner in which he handled the questions relating to what he would do and how he would do them and so on. And I thought that was important, because Nairobi and governance generally requires a combination of professionalism, a combination of contribution to technical ideas and technical staff, and management ability. Of course, you cannot do away with politics. Politics is part and parcel of all this process, but really politics must give room to professionalism and to technocratic approaches where that is appropriate. And I think that is what they were saying. Now, when you came to Sakaja, I got the impression that he was he came prepared to politic, to basically blow his trumpet in terms of what he has done, and basically to, as it were, blame other people for what has not been done. So I think I would give, I would say Igathe did pretty well.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Professor Peter Wanyande, there, lecturer at the University of Nairobi and also political analyst, speaking to us just moments after the Nairobi gubernatorial debate, in a series of the debates that will culminate into the presidential debate. The next one is on the 19th, which is on Tuesday. That's the deputy presidential debate, and it will be aired across all